Hi, and welcome to Our Small Table. Today we're doing a make-ahead chicken cordon bleu casserole. Here's our finished dish. Let's see how we got here. One of the nice things about make-ahead casseroles is that you don't have to have a bunch of matching dishes for them. You can have one that'll serve the two of you and then have another one just for you for later, because you're not going to cook them at the same time. So it doesn't matter if the one casserole is slightly thicker than the other. You just cook it through until it's done. I'm just going to demonstrate one of these, and I'll do the other off camera. This is cooked shredded chicken. You can get a grocery store rotisserie chicken and shred it up. I used chicken that I had in the freezer and cooked it and shredded it yesterday. You can also use leftover chicken. If you're using chicken that you're pulling out of the freezer and cooking it specifically for the purpose, I recommend doing what I've done here, which is a combination of boneless, skinless chicken breasts and boneless, skinless chicken thighs, because the thighs retain moisture. I'm just going to lay it out on the bottom, and then we're taking our deli ham, which has been roughly chopped. You can even tear it if you'd prefer, and just kind of sprinkling it over the top. Try to break it up a little bit. I pre-sprayed the pans that I'm using with nonstick cooking spray, which is important when you're putting something in the freezer, especially because you don't know how long it'll sit in there before you use it, and the ingredients can get stuck. Just have a basic white sauce here: butter, flour, salt, pepper, milk. I was very scant on the salt because the ham has salt in it. The chicken, if you're using rotisserie chicken, might have salt in it. You don't want to use too much salt in the sauce. I did add some ground mustard when I was making the sauce. We're just going to pour that over the top, and I have to be careful because I have to remember that I have another pan that I'll need some of this sauce for. Just push it into the edges. Let it start slowly making its own way down. Try not to make a mess. It's not too much. I had a special event recently where I provided meat and cheese tray hors d'oeuvres. And of course, while they were popular, they weren't eaten 100%. And so I came home with the leftover meat and cheese from those trays. And that is where the ham and the cheese for these casseroles came from. Get a little bit more for that little section up top. And that's all we're going to do right now. I'm just going to put the cover on this. And this can be popped into the fridge if I want to use it tonight, or it can go into the freezer to be baked another time. When that time comes, we'll just sprinkle some breadcrumbs, preferably Italian breadcrumbs, but plain is fine too, or panko, over the top and bake it. And those instructions are on the website, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. The reason we don't want to put the breadcrumbs on now, before we put it into the freezer or the fridge, is that as it sits in cold storage, the breadcrumbs would get soggy. You never want to put a crisp topping on until right before you bake it. If it's a potato chip topping, if it's a breadcrumb topping, whatever it is, you want to wait until just before baking to add that. This one was in the fridge for a few hours. It never went into the freezer, but either way, you want to take it out a little bit before you cook it. When I preheated the oven, I took this out of the fridge, take some of the chill off. I'm topping it with panko on this occasion. Breadcrumbs are fine, like I said earlier, just regular breadcrumbs, whatever works best for you. I have added a little bit of Italian seasoning to these, and also a little bit of dehydrated Parmesan cheese, just to give a little extra flavor. And once the oven reaches 350, then this will go in and bake and be ready to serve. And that really is all there is to it. The most important thing for doing a make-ahead casserole is that anything that you want to be crispy shouldn't be added until just before you bake it. And if you can, try and take it out of the fridge or freezer a little bit ahead of time before you bake it, so that you can get some of that chill taken off, so it can start to thaw a little bit. And keep in mind that flavors will intensify as they sit, so something that maybe was a little bit bland before it went into the freezer will taste better once it's been baked. We'll see how this looks when it's done. And here it is. Thanks for joining me at Our Small Table. The recipe we used today is linked in the video description and is available at OurSmallTable.com. We're continuing our Make Ahead Meals series with a dessert next time, so click subscribe so you don't miss out.